was once a dream that was Rome.
Welcome to the first episode of Roman Updates. The idea is pretty simple. If something happens in the Roman world, I'll update you about it. Archaeology, new Roman media, anything that has even the hint of Rome.
You could only whisper it. Anything more than a whisper, and it would vanish. It was so fragile.
Please enjoy. Archaeologists were doing preventative digs ahead of building a new student residence on the Via Ostiense near the Basilica of San Paolo Fiora Limura, when they uncovered a massive burial complex in the ancient Ostiense necropolis. They found an entire cluster of imperial-era funerary buildings, 5 big ones lined up with vaulted ceilings, plus a couple smaller ones, and another set built at an angle, almost like they formed a courtyard. A lot of them came equipped with cremation urns, and they've already pulled out some really nice decorations. Frescoes with plant motifs, stucco work, and winged victories. There's even an entrance hall and a big room that still has traces of a mosaic floor. What's especially interesting is how you can see the change in burial styles over time. Behind these fancy monumental tombs from the imperial period, they found a later late antiquity cemetery with much simpler pit graves stacked close together, separated by a long wall made of tough blocks. The history of the site stretches from the late Republic all the way into the late Empire. It's giving us a fresh look at how Romans lived and buried their dead, and the preservation on a lot of this stuff is seriously impressive. Excavations are still ongoing, but this discovery is already adding some great new details to the layout of the Ostiense necropolis and Roman burial customs in general. It's hard to build anything in Italy without running into the past.
Before we continue the updates, it's hot, you exercise, just like the legions marching for hours. You need electrolytes, you drink sport drink. No fake sugar, no artificial dyes, no artificial flavors, no chemical additives, no preservatives. Great flavors including no yellow 5 lemon lime, orange you glad it's not chemicals, cherry Maguire, strawberry lime America time, and more. Do not wait. Use code ROME, that's R-O-M-E, to get 10% off your order. That's code ROME, R-O-M-E, to get 10% off your order of sport drink. Order now.
Also, in February of this year, some remains that may have belonged to some very famous Romans were found. Near Castel di Guido, hope I'm saying that right, about 12 miles west of the city in the area the Romans called Lorium, there may have been some criminal activity, including some illegal digs, but officials stepped in quick, and now the dig is being done legally, and they are properly excavating the site. The 1st century villa is seriously fancy. We're talking frescoed walls, beautiful mosaic floors with Greek key patterns, shield designs, and geometric motifs. They even found a system for collecting rainwater, and even a broken marble statue of the god Silvanus. Whoever lived here was part of the elites. What makes it extra cool is the location. Lorium was a hot spot for prestigious Roman families and emperors, including Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and Marcus Aurelius. In fact, this splendid villa may have belonged to someone close to the Antonine imperial family, and it could have easily have hosted visits from those big names. Maybe. It does give us a fresh glimpse into how the super wealthy lived just outside the capital during the imperial period. Pretty wild how criminals started this digging process, and it ended up revealing something this impressive. Moving on to genetic news, just a few short weeks ago, in a paper published on the Bio44 server, researchers looked at more than 1,000 ancient genomes from Britain and found that even after nearly 400 years of Roman rule, the genetic impact was pretty small. Roman DNA from outside Britain only made up about 20% of the genetic profile in people living there at the time. Most individuals during the Roman period actually traced 100% of their ancestry straight back to Iron Age Britons, with only around 20% showing any detectable ancestry from outside the islands. The Viking side was even smaller. Despite the Danelaw and all the Norse activity, only about 4% of people in England between the 8th and 11th centuries carried ancestry linked to Iron Age Scandinavia. Archaeologists at Vindolanda, the famous Roman fort right along Hadrian's Wall in northern Britain, uncovered a wooden bath clog dating back to sometime between 140 and 180 AD.
What are those?
It's a classic Roman platform shoe made from wood with a leather top strap. Basically, the ancient version of shower shoes you'd slip on to protect your feet from scorching hot floors in the bathhouse. Vindolanda has given us thousands of shoes over the years, but this one stands out as one of the earliest and best preserved examples of these bath clogs ever found.
You know, I love the big discoveries, but there's something about the small ones, like the shoe, that are my favorite. The shoe itself doesn't tell us much, but it makes you realize there was one individual Roman soldier over 2,000 years ago alive wearing that shoe, probably named Publius.
Now, let's talk about some Roman-themed games. Nova Roma is a charming and deep Roman-themed city builder developed by Lion Shield Studios. That's the team behind Kingdom and Castles, and published by Hooded Horse. It launched in early access on March 26 and has been sitting at very positive on Steam, with reviews coming in about 94% positive. I myself have not yet joined the early access. I really need to find more time to game. But from the videos I've seen, while rebuilding Rome, you need to make sure you appease the gods, of course manage your supply chains, you can't have the plebs starving to death, building a goddamn aqueduct of course, and carefully watching the happiness of your citizens. I was a big fan of city builders when I was younger, and this looks like a good opportunity to jump back in. Fall of an Empire is a grand strategy game released on March 3rd, 2026, developed and published by JG Games. It puts you in the role of emperor, or a high-ranking official, of a crumbling realm strongly inspired by the late Western Roman Empire. This is a strategy game that scratches an itch we don't really get to, and that's a game that's based on the end of the empire. That's right, a game about Rome near the end. You manage the empire and attempt to stem off a ridiculous amount of terrible things all happening at once. Imagine being emperor in 450 AD. You are Majorian, basically. A deep character-driven system with generals, senators, and family members. Loyalty, intrigue, betrayal, and personal relationships matter a ton. You appoint people to offices, manage factions, and make ruthless decisions. Of course, manage your finances and your military, command armies in actual real-time battles, and what intrigues me the most is that it claims to be narrative-driven, instead of just another Empire Manager game. I like that. Reviews are currently mixed on Steam, but I like the idea enough that I will definitely be checking this one out. Another game in early access is Romestead. Love that name. Has that really cool 2D HD style. You must rebuild Rome. Yes, you. You are basically the new Romulus. The problem? There is undead attacking your settlement. Yes, zombies. Make sacrifices to the gods, build your legions, and hope that's enough to save New Rome. This really intrigues me. Not every game needs to be historically accurate, obviously, and I really love the art style. Look for a playthrough on this channel soon. What about games that haven't released yet, but are coming soon? You just knew eventually there was going to be a Gladiator game, right? Listed as coming soon, Glory of the Colosseum is a turn-based tactical strategy game where you train your own gladiators. To be honest, they had me at turn-based. You basically search for gladiators, you train and level them up, buy them new gear, and even have the ability to sell them off if you no longer want them. Yeah, I'm in. Lost Legions is a graphically impressive survival game. You, a Roman legionnaire, have somehow survived the Battle of Teutoburg Forest. You awaken with almost nothing but the clothes on your back. You need to survive. You need to collect food and build. Search for your surviving friends, all while looking out for barbarians, and maybe some other scary things in the forest.
You know, I don't play a ton of AAA titles, like ever. I mostly play JRPGs and Roman history-themed games. But the way that indie games are going, I'm pretty excited for the future of Roman gaming because we're seeing more and more of these high-effort games built by smaller studios, or in some cases, just like 3 dudes in a basement. I think there's probably a good amount to look forward to.
As far as movies go, I was genuinely excited to hear about Diocles. This is a Croatian film about the Emperor Diocletian, slated to be released sometime this year, shot entirely in Latin. We don't know too much about it other than that, but I'm very interested because movies released in America about Rome as of late have been, well, terrible. What if I told you we may be getting a movie that has to do with Rome and is starring Russell Crowe? That's right, The Last Druid is slated for a September release, although the lack of information is concerning to say the least. We have an update. Turns out that production was ongoing as of June 8th, which is great news. However, it turns out they were filming in Catalonia, and apparently there was an outbreak of some kind of swine fever virus, which has slowed production. Well, I will keep you updated. Just a few days ago, I seen a trailer for Pompeii Out of Time with Tom Hiddleston. It's apparently a documentary with many dramatizations mixed in, of random people who survived the destruction of the city of Pompeii. An in-depth look at regular Romans and what they went through during that incredibly dangerous time. Obviously a huge name with Tom Hiddleston, but it is Disney Plus, so we'll see how it goes. Real quick, I want to talk about Spartacus House of Ashur. I was a big fan of the original series. Even after Andy passed away, the show was good. Crude, and sometimes ridiculous, but fun. I watched the first 2 episodes of the new season, and if you like blood and boobs, it's probably fine. It's almost like they know somewhat what made the first couple seasons good, but they haven't captured the soul. Maybe I need to watch the rest before I comment, but that's how I feel right now.
You know, I'm pretty excited for these movies. The Croatian one in particular, just because I have no idea what to expect. I know that Croatia is pretty obsessed with Diocletian for obvious reasons, and I'm excited to see what they make. And because all American attempts at Roman media in the last couple years have been awful. And if there happens to be a Roman film with Russell Crowe, I'm probably going to see it.
There's a new graphic novel called Myths, Gods, and Gladiators in Ancient Rome by Stephen Davies, with bright, bold illustrations by Laurie Avon. It came out earlier this year, basically a perfect intro to Rome in a comic strip style. It mixes funny comic retellings of some Roman classic myths like Romulus and Remus founding Rome, Dido and Aeneas, Horatius at the Bridge, and more, with some non-fiction pages about gladiators, Roman gods, crazy emperors, the army, inventions, and daily life in the empire. It's actually really beautiful, super colorful, and engaging, and the writing has a good sense of humor that made something I've read about many times feel fresh. It's aimed at younger readers, but honestly works great for any age if you want a light, entertaining way to dive into Roman myths and history. Pretty cool addition to the library, in my opinion. Conquest, Julius Caesar's Gallic War, is a graphic novel released not too long ago that I was actually lucky enough to get sent a copy to by the creators. Just absolutely beautiful art, as you can see, worth checking out for sure. I highly recommend this one. Alright my dudes, I think that mostly covers it for now. Obviously, a lot has happened in 2026 and more will continue to do so, and I will be here to cover it as the Daily Roman Update Guy. Let me know if I missed something or if there's something you want me to cover, and I'll get to it in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment below, and as always, Delende es Carthago. I would like to thank my Patreons who have stuck with me during the great video blackout of the last year or so. Fapules, Johnny Settle, and History Marsh in the Caesar tier, our patrician, Callan Nellis, and our lone pleb, Tim Lockertson. If you would like to join their noble ranks and help contribute to the war effort, just go to patreon.com/updatingonrome and you too can join the empire. Thank you, my dudes.